All right, so this is a video on how to get the best optimization out of Marvel Rivals. First thing you want to do is Google NVIDIA FrameView. Download FrameView, install it. Once it's installed, you open it up. You can put FrameView in one of four corners. I've got that one. Then open up your game. Go to this practice range. Look at the frame information from FrameView. The most important one to pay attention to is the GPU. If it's at 98, 97%, your PCL, which is the PC latency, will be 17 milliseconds, in my case. Currently, I have a 1440p monitor. Everything's set to native resolution, and I've set it at 240 hertz. If I take this and put it at 50%, now my GPU will be below, like, what you want is below, like, I'd say 90. And my PC latency is now 8 milliseconds. And that seems to be the best. Now, this is in practice. You also want to go in game, and you want to play around with these settings as you play in game, because this is less stress than what's happening in the game. But you want to get your GPU to be lower than 90%, which will lower your PC latency. The fastest PC latency in this game seems to be around 7 to 10 milliseconds in game. So what you want to do is play around with this area here, the TAAU, EPYC TSR, AMD FSR, or Intel XeSS. Personally, I find TAAU to be the best. I believe this is part of the Ultimate Engine 5, their anti-aliasing and super resolution. And it's really easy, it's just one slider. I put it at 50, and in game it's going to be worse than what's happening in here. I would adjust this and your frame rate. Like if I reduce it to like 200, right? I have a lower frame rate, but my GPU is also lower, right? And you want to play around with your frame rate and this render scaling to match what you can to get that PC latency to be between like 7 and 10 milliseconds. And so I'm going to go in some games and I'm going to play around with this and my frame rate to make sure that I have a steady, solid frame rate for every game. All right, so this game, I have my FPS set to 200 and my render scaling at 70. Let's see what happens. I want to keep my GPU like out of the 90s. And then that gives me a steady frame rate. The CPU doesn't matter in my case. I have an i9 13900K. This game has no problems with the CPU, really. It's all GPU problems. So yeah, my PC latency is like 10, which is pretty good. And on this map, every map's slightly different, and depending on who's playing, the heroes and what's happening, that affects it as well. So I prefer to have like a lock steady frame rate. But I also don't like the level of detail that 50% gives you. So, yeah, I'm getting my 200 FPS. My PC latency jumps up around, you know, now and again, depending on what's happening, how much stuff has to go. I would say an average between like 8 to like 13 or 13 is probably standard. Okay, well, can't fucking tab out. All right, 200 FPS at 70 is good. That's a good PC latency. So by playing around with your FPS and your render scaling while you're in game, you're gonna find the sweet spot where you get a locked frame rate and the lowest PCL that you can get. That's how I find this game works the best. It's gonna take a while because every map is different, and also how many heroes are on the thing, what the heroes are doing, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. Super Angry Snowman. Check me out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, Threads. I think that's it, right? All right.